Welcome back. Now we want to finish the first introductory part to our lecture series by giving some hints how to think about architecture today. And we understood that we have to learn and to leave the gravitational body of thinking and go into the imaginary of space, like aliens, into a connected world. And this has massive impact, no, not massive, this has a substantial impact to the thinking itself and our attitude towards reality, about problems and so on. And I would give some statements which might help. So it's super complicated to do that. We can't elaborate it in the video, it's more a text thing. But I give you hints for that, and this needs to develop. And it needs a lot of time, a lot of meditation and so on, because it's very substantial and very unusual, and in strict contrast to whatever you learn with all pedagogy, social science and so on, psychoanalysis, psychology, you learned, and it's all around. So the first is, for example, forget about problems. So if things are connected, if we have these generic AI, problems are solved. So you have to affirm that the things around, they are connected as well. And by that, they are inconceivable by principle. You can't point at them because they're connected. They are screens of the whole world. These are certain characters of aliens showing up in certain forms and certain structures. And it's not them, the thing. It's not the thing itself. You can't point at it. You can't stick it in an analytical way, like you had a butterfly, stick it, and then you analyze it, count the legs, get the colors and so on, and say this is this, and classify this butterfly. It's that. It's not this anymore. So what you have to do is you have to embrace an obstacle instead of targeting a problem. So you have to get to friends, yeah, obstacles, and embrace them. If you start to understand that, done, dead. So therefore, do not think in systems, structures, but mechanics. Be careful with the concept of language. It's about talking. Talking emancipates from the logic of language. We call that vernacular language. So therefore you have to be careful with it's too much. Chomsky, Russell, Frege. So this is the most cited author in all computing in all 20th century. Chomsky, Noam Chomsky, problem solver. The linguistic term, problem solving in language. And in this third row, what we have today, the success of being able to translate, as I showed before, just translate into Arabic, Bulgarian, whatever, it's not linguistics. It's exactly not that. It's just probabilistics, it's an alien story. It's not a problem of analysis of and an origin of languages, comparing their structures, and so on and so on and so on. It's just a lot of data, all the corpus of things talked and written, connected. Done. Very important to realize that. So then rethink the social. That's an interesting thing. Don't get with the scale of good and bad. It's an ethical not making a decision. Empathy, very complicated to forget about that. No subject facing objects, the same like targeting problems. So everything gets give up on the individual. A very strong contract with the individual, which is logic, and the identity, which is connected. Don't trust your senses. Very simple, because the artificial sensors are much more sensible as us. And all the sensations are fake. They're beyond reality. Alien screens. So therefore be very careful with the senses. The same with the empathy. It's not that the bad guys are not empathic with what they're doing. They're all empathic, so you can't trust empathy. Engagement is the same. Doing things is with the machines. You have to make constitutions not to do the actual things. Diversity. Be careful with art. Alberti said architecture is beyond art. Art is a way of making the rational proportion of architecture real. This has to be art. Very complicated. It's not better or higher or of less value. It's just another medium of doing things with. So all this is very challenging today in architecture, and welcome to this world. And I want to introduce you to the techniques of that and foster and push your thinking in a certain way which is adequate to what we experience today, so you can face the alienated world. Thank you, and see you soon.